Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of the Shameless podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lick My Sock, and I'm joined today, as always, by my good friend, TMT Coco. How's it going, Coco?
Hey, that's me. I'm here with the same name. How's it going, everybody?
This is your...
Been a while since last week.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Thank you for tuning in to your favorite weekly podcast. Every week, although there has been a bit of a hiatus lately. And
no, that's
probably, it is probably in their head. That's gaslighting at its finest now.
Yeah.
But how are you doing, Coco? Let's check in now. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm not bad. I'm getting ready for Christmas, with this holiday special of the Shameless podcast.
This is our Christmas episode. Christmas special, one could say.
The official one, no less. We don't want to be associated with no knockoff Shameless podcast.
Yeah,
Christmas special.
If you see another Shameless podcast Christmas special, you need to report it to the police.
Yeah, don't watch it either. Don't give them any views.
But
we have to fight enough for ours.
I'm doing well, thank you very much for asking. I've just been floating through life, as it goes.
Literally on a boat.
Literally floating. Yeah. Oh yeah. I work on boats. But so next week it's going to be Christmas, which is crazy. Like, this year has flown by. Our first episode was back in January, and it's already been almost a year.
January 4th, almost a full year every week. That's why we're on episode 12.
That is bananas.
That's math.
But so I guess possibly on our next episode, it will be our 1 year anniversary episode. Another special episode.
Honestly, our next episode could be our 2 year anniversary.
The way it's going. Yeah. No, for sure. But speaking of Christmas specials,
how weeks work.
Let's dive right in to anybody who's a half decent Marvel fan, I guess. And what'd you think of the Guardians Christmas special? Was it on par with the 1883 Star Wars holiday special?
Holiday special. Well, I actually didn't see the Star Wars one until probably 2 years ago, and I had heard horrible things about it. I'm veering right into the Star Wars one just for a second. I kind of understand why everybody absolutely hates that, and they tried to wipe it from existence, but at the same time, it wasn't as bad as I thought from what people were saying. Like, have you seen the Star Wars?
I have, yes. Oh yeah.
I don't think it's it's not good, but if I had to compare it to like the 800 Hallmark Christmas movies that come out every year, it's not bad.
I think that you think it's not bad because of all the recent garbage that they've released, and you see some old legacy characters and a little bit of film grain, and you're like, you know what? That's what a quality production
that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's George Lucas all over that. I'd watch that any day.
Yeah, but compared to Guardians of the Galaxy, garbage. Just trash. Guardians, I was surprised at how good it was. I kind of thought it would just be like they just crammed it in there and they tried to make it work just for the sake of making money at Christmas. But it was better than I thought. I was pleasantly surprised, and at this point I don't think they can do wrong with Guardians.
I think they're at a point now where you could put the Guardians characters into anything and people will love it.
Guardians of the Galaxy Easter special, here we go.
Guardians of the Galaxy birthday, it's Rocket's birthday, anything. And I thought it was pretty good too for being what it was. Like, obviously they were filming that at the same time they were setting up to film Guardians 3, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yep. Like, they filmed that first, and that gets everybody warmed up into their characters again too, right?
Yeah, it must have been weird though when you think about it, because they probably did that last spring or summer or something. Having to, I couldn't picture it being the middle of the summer, hot, everything else. I go into this building and I just see fake snow and Christmas decorations everywhere. It'd throw me right off.
What did you think of the the Yondu cartoon throwback scenes?
Well, I'm just gonna go right into spoilers here because we're making the assumption that people have seen it, because if they haven't, they're not real fans.
Yeah, it's been out for weeks now.
I didn't like it at first when they just kind of made it out like he was a jerk, but then at the end when they show that he gave Peter his two guns as the presents, then I was fine with it.
Pretty freaking cool, I think. Like I'm
was
not
a good way to
into like anime really or anything, and those that are, that's totally cool. It's just really not my swing of things, but I do appreciate a good cartoon or a good series of animation. And I'm really happy they even got
American animation.
Yeah, I'm really happy they got Michael Rooker in there to voice Yondu for like the very short parts he was in. I really enjoyed that. And we're not even going to talk about Kevin Bacon in there, right? Like, it's just kind of thrown in there.
That was such a... Like, I get why they did it, but it's such a weird... Like, if I had to say, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, even after seeing the first Guardian, like, if someone said, do you think that's going to happen? I'd say no. 100%. Why would that ever happen?
Especially after the dance-off to save the universe. Like, do you think Kevin Bacon's ever going to be in the series?
No, it's to me at least, he's not even like a big actor.
No, not really.
I know he
anymore.
like when that movie came out, he was, but after that, he's not like super well known. Like, it's not like John Travolta in what dancing movie did he do? Did he do Grease?
Grease.
Yeah. Like,
so you think Grease is better than Dirty Dancing?
Isn't it Footloose?
What did I say? Yeah, you're right.
I don't even remember who was in that one.
What does Peter think? It's like, yeah, Footloose is the greatest film of all time, or whatever.
Yeah, and Kevin Bacon was like the greatest hero.
Yeah.
I did like when Drax and Mantis find out that he's not actually a hero, that he's just an actor.
Right, and they know what that means.
Yeah,
like it's not like acting is just like an Earth thing. Like, they know what an actor is, like in space. Right?
Oh, actors are disgusting.
Are they like together? Are they doing stuff? Or are they just like, I don't know. But you get the reveal that she's his sister, which totally makes sense because of his dad was Ego, and Ego's going around, you know what I mean? Like, trying to make another one of him.
And in Guardians 2, like, I didn't really pick up on it at the end of Guardians 2 as like a cliffhanger, but at one point she does say that she has to tell Peter something. And it was kind of assumed that she was just going to say that he's a psychopath, and that's what I kind of figured it was. But then after that, I thought, well, maybe that's what she was trying to tell him. But hard to say if they thought that far ahead or not. They probably did.
I really like, I don't know. I really like how Rocket gets Bucky's arm from his Wakandan arm. Like, to follow up to that, I don't like.
Yeah.
Next time he'll show up, will be in Thunderbolts, I think, right? Like, that's what's slated for
Bucky?
Yeah. Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think it's Thunderbolts with no date on that, but I think that's the next thing he'll be in.
I would think so. I can't see them just throwing him in like a cameo for anything else at this point. If anything, it probably would have been Black Panther, just because he spent all that time at Wakanda.
I've never seen that one yet, so yeah, I can't talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. But if anything, I think that's where they would have had him, and I didn't hear that they did, so I'm guessing they didn't.
Nah, I don't think so. It'll be in Thunderbolts and probably Captain America 4 with Falcon being the new Captain.
Does that have a date yet?
No, it's in pre-production.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with Marvel now. You get so far ahead. It's like, yeah, they're going to be in this and this. And when's that? I don't know.
But the stuff like...
few years.
Yeah, but like with this Christmas special, it's actually one of the things that were half decent that they pumped in. I don't know if it was, you could say, from legacy characters. I don't know about that. But like the rest of the shows and everything else they've churned out this year were kind of terrible. She-Hulk, I gave it a chance, but
oh god, I didn't even give that a try.
I gave it a chance. I haven't seen the finale because I went back to work, but we watched all of them up to then, and it was okay. Like, it wasn't good. It was like they were just filling content. Like, I don't know where she fills it. Like, where does she belong now in these new Avengers? Like, I don't.
It was 100% content for content's sake. Like, they were doing it to have a show. I feel like the Guardians special, it was a nice little bridge between 2 and 3, because it had been a while since you saw just them together. You saw them at the start of Thor: Love and Thunder, but you don't really see them much. You don't know what they're doing. So it was good that it kind of introduced that they bought Nowhere and were trying to like fix it up and stuff.
Yeah, because in the beginning of Thor, they get sick of Thor. They give Thor the boot. They keep doing their kind of anti-hero pirate thing, right? And they get enough money, and they end up buying Nowhere. And that's where they're at in the Christmas special, and they're fixing it up, and it's going to be like their community is inside of Nowhere.
Yeah, I do like that they made Kraglin like a main character now. He's got Yondu's fin and everything.
But we never see him whistle, do we? I don't think so.
Not in that.
No.
You only see it at the end of Guardians 2 when he accidentally sends it right at Drax and runs away. So that'll be interesting.
Did you think Groot looked kind of weird?
Oh, I don't like New Groot.
New Groot, like adolescent Groot?
Yeah, he's so stocky. But James Gunn basically said, like, that's how they want. It was intentional that he looks so different, I guess. He's supposed to be in, like, his, I don't know, bulking stage, I guess. And he does say, like, remember, it's not the same Groot as Guardians 1. He's not going to look exactly the same. But I'm not a big fan of that look. It looks like a knockoff. Like they wanted to do it and they just didn't get the dimensions right or something. Like they lost the file and tried to remake.
It's like the Wish Groot compared to the Amazon Groot.
Basically.
Is that going to be the same model they're using for Guardians 3?
It sounds like it, because there isn't supposed to be much of a time difference between the special and 3. So he'll pretty much be the same, I think. Which, I mean, is whatever.
3 is going to be a tearjerker. For sure. You don't think... I think Rocket's
someone's going to die. Probably Rocket.
Rocket is not coming out of that movie alive. There's no way.
Yeah, that's... like, 2 was bad enough at the end with Yondu. I can't do it again.
Yeah, for sure it's going to be Rocket that goes. I don't know how the whole Peter and Gamora thing are going to finish up. Because this is their last one. Like, this is their last hurrah as the Guardians, I think.
Yeah, Gunn has said it'll be the last time that they're, like, together.
Yeah.
In their own movie, so.
Like, I'm sure...
Which kind of sucks, but...
Like, Groot will be in more things, because it's pretty easy to add Groot if you have the CGI money.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a background character anyway, so he can be anywhere. He doesn't even really need an explanation. He can be just, oh, Groot's here. Alright, you stand in the back.
Perfect.
But, yeah, I'm okay with the fact that they're not just going to be like, yeah, we're putting out 6 more Guardians movies. Where they're just kind of just trying to make more for the sake of having more. But it's going to suck not having any new stuff.
What if they told you they were going to put out 6 more Pirates of the Caribbean movies with Johnny Depp? Would you be down?
Yep.
Didn't matter what the plot line was. Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, that's different.
There's talk of him coming back to the role too.
Yeah, but he said he wouldn't do it for, like, what was it? $10 million and 1,000 alpacas or something like that. They asked him in that court case. They're like, would you come back if they gave you that? And he's like, no, not a chance.
I bet you he'll come back. I bet you they'll give him an obscene amount of money to come back.
I feel like it would have to be fans would have to convince him to come back more than money. Because, like, he doesn't really need it. He kind of needs money, but he could get it through other things. But I think
he's got some from his ex-wife, so.
Yeah. I think if enough fans and stuff say, like, look, we really want this character back, do it for us, he'd probably do it. Because it was a couple days ago I saw an article that he wore it again to another like kids hospital, because he does that all the time. He wears the Jack Sparrow outfit and goes to the hospitals and stuff.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Like, I'm kind of surprised Disney doesn't say, well, now if you're not going to work with us, you can't use our costume or you can't use the character.
Yeah, but you don't own the character, man. You gotta, yeah, I could see that.
Just sue him for doing. Yeah, but I guess they kind of want to keep the door open. Well, they slammed it in his face and then opened it again, but they kind of want to keep it open. Just in case. It'd be nice if he did, because that series, you could go so many different directions with it. And it would still be alright.
Well, it's obvious that that actor makes that franchise. Like, they took everything else away and still had him in a lead role in the final movie. I mean, you did still have Barbossa, I guess. And in the one before that, you had Gibbs, but you keep that one main character and you did 5 movies, right? Wicked.
Yeah, like it just works.
Well, back to the spirit of Christmas now.
Yeah.
And we're talking about movies and Christmas. Might as well keep going on that trend. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
I'm going to go even farther. I'm not going to say my favorite. I'm going to say the best. Like, regardless of other people's feelings. There is one correct answer, and it's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I knew you were going to say that, and I don't think that's right.
Yeah, but you think it's Die Hard.
I don't think it's Die Hard. I think that's my favorite.
Okay, fair. Fair. But that one just has too much internal, like, the whole discussion on whether it even qualifies. But I don't know, to me, Christmas Vacation just includes every aspect of Christmas. Like, the tree, the fighting with relatives, the putting up the decorations and lights. Because, I mean, for me at least, we do that anyways. Like, pretty much everything that happens in that movie happens to me every year. So to me, it kind of encapsulates everything the most, I guess.
So to you, it's your favorite Christmas movie. It's not the best Christmas movie.
Yeah, but to everyone, it should be.
It should be.
Like, let me clarify. If someone on the internet doesn't have the same opinion as me, they're wrong and I'm right. That's the internet rules.
Like, what makes a good Christmas movie? Like, all these things that you listed, like, you need to be messing with a tree, fighting with your family members, messing around with
I think
lights.
it has to be relatable. There has to be something in it that, like, reminds you of your Christmas experience.
But not everybody has the same Christmas experience. Some people don't even have Christmas.
Well, then they wouldn't be watching Christmas movies anyway.
Well, like, maybe they wanted to have Christmas, but they just couldn't. You know, like, I don't know.
Well, then it should show, like, an idealistic Christmas, like, or a realistic showing of Christmas. To a sense, obviously, certain things some people may not think are real, but we're not going to get into that. So I don't know the age range of the people that listen to this. I think it has to be a comedy of some sort, like a drama Christmas movie. Nah, not for me.
Yeah, but some people dig the drama Christmas movies. They love that because their Christmases are always so encapsulated with drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the best Christmas movie to you is the most relatable Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, I actually don't know what my favorite Christmas movie is. I just enjoy them all. I do think comedy is an essential part of a Christmas movie, like from the Santa Claus with, like, the classic early 2000s Tom Hanks. Not Tom Hanks.
Wait,
who am I
Tim
saying?
Allen?
Tim Allen. Yeah.
What?
I caught myself immediately. Tim Allen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a fake fan.
Yeah. Tom Hanks as Santa Claus is something I need to see now.
Well, he's not Santa, but in the Polar Express, he plays almost every character.
That's true.
Except Santa.
I mean, the Polar Express is a pretty good Christmas movie, if you're into it, you know? Like, there's so many good Christmas movies, but if I were to say that my favorite Christmas movie has got to be the classic Grinch cartoon one. I don't know what year it is.
The original animated one?
Yeah, it could be. It's really old. It could be from the 60s. I don't think it's that old, though.
I want to say 70s.
But you know the one I mean of.
Yeah, because 60s was Rudolph and Santa Claus is Coming to Town and like stop motion type stuff. And then they went into just the full-on just animated drawings. I think in the 70s.
1966.
Okay.
December 18th had a budget of $315,000 USD dollars. Holy.
I was gonna say it would have to be 1,000, not million or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably made that back.
But I think that's just like a classic Christmas tale. Like that's my childhood Christmas movies growing up, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I still watch it every year. And the Jim Carrey live action one as well.
Yeah, you have a whole list you go through every year.
About 25 Christmas movies, yeah. And so basically one a day.
Do you watch these with your family or just like by yourself?
I watch almost all of them, usually just with my dad in the basement. And then on Christmas Day, as of like 2 or 3 years ago, we watch Christmas Vacation like together on Christmas Day.
Because that's all of your favorite Christmas movie. Like you all get a kick because it's so relatable to you guys.
Yeah, like it. Pretty much every year, everything that happens in that movie happens to us. Like getting ready for Christmas. So.
No, perfect. What else we got here? Yeah. So, do you have more to add for the Christmas movie?
I think we'll very quickly touch on Die Hard. So you're saying it's a Christmas movie, correct?
I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
In your belief, you think it qualifies. Now, what to you makes you think it qualifies? Is it only because it takes place at Christmas time?
I think it's a man trying to be with his family for Christmas. Like,
understandable.
Like, is it not? Like, is he not trying to he gets tangled up in a lot of shenanigans between him just trying to get, like, right? He's trying to connect with his wife and his kid, right? Or at least his wife at the time. He's just trying to be with them. Like, he didn't want to go fighting all these bad guys and whatnot. He's just a cop and he just happens to be in the middle of all this.
Hypothetically, he could have just left.
He had to get his family, right? Because his family was at the tower.
I'm trying to remember. Were they on a plane coming in, or were they already there?
That's Die Hard 2.
Right. Because it took such a weird turn. Like, the first two movies seem so different from the second two.
Well, the third one's the best. The third Die Hard with Samuel L. Jackson in the supporting role is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, that's not a Christmas movie.
Is the second one in the winter too?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That might be why I think of them so differently. Just because the first two are winter, and then the rest are just like cop movies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the second one like has like the airport and like the snowmobile chases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the like twist in it. Yeah.
And he's there because his wife's coming home for Christmas or something, maybe, I don't know, but their plane is coming in and the airport's held hostage, and that's why he's there and dealing with it.
I think of that one more than the actual first one when I think of Die Hard.
Now, is that a Christmas movie?
I'm trying to remember if it actually takes place at Christmas time or if it's just like January, February or something.
I don't remember for the second one. The second one is the one I've seen the least amount of times, I think, and there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I think the fourth one is kind of the weird one where he takes like the computer geek guy with him. I think that's the fourth one. Yeah,
that's right.
Like, if you compare that with the first one, it doesn't seem like it's the same series to me.
No, it just seems like a different Bruce Willis movie where he's kicking butt.
Yeah.
Which was all the movies he was in after that.
Pretty much. Maybe it was a transition from hair to no hair that really divided them, though. Because to me, he's a different person when he has hair. Like, that's a different actor to me.
Yeah. So
yeah, I guess
what do you think?
I guess I'd call it a Christmas movie.
Like back to the whole Christmas thing, because that's like our Christmas special kind of theme here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I might even edit this on YouTube with like a fireplace or something,
Yeah.
just to really get it in there.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, do that. We're just sitting around
Yeah,
here
no
by
promises
the fire.
though.
No, I want to
If
see
you just
like
get a
at
black
least
screen
a
with audio.
$30,
That's fine. I'll just edit this.
$30 gift, like just on repeat in the background.
Yeah, I'll have to pay royalties for a fireplace.
Yeah. What do you think the most? Now, I think this was your question. I'm just reading here.
Yeah.
What do you think the most gifted item will be this year? And I'm just going to add that I think that this is a whack question, because I think society isn't what it used to be in regards to like the whole Christmas time thing. There isn't that one toy that every kid wants to get. There's not the one doll. There's not the one easy bake oven. There's not a GI Joe. There's, you know what I mean? There's not a unisex whatever that every person or every child wants. So like I would have no idea what the most gifted item would be. What are your thoughts on that?
But at the same time, I think we're also at that out of touch old person doesn't know how toys work age to an extent. Because I remember when we were kids and we wanted stuff, and the quote unquote adults, I guess, had no idea what that meant or what that was when we'd ask for stuff. And like even Pokemon cards used to be called Pokemans and stuff like that. Like there's just a disconnect between what kids want and what adults actually know, I guess. And I think we flipped over to that other side where we just don't know what's happening with the kids these days.
Well, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, we're old. We're basically dirt. Yeah, we're not that far apart. If I'm old, you're old.
No, but like, okay, so what do you think the 2022 Pokemon is? Like, I have no, like, you know what I mean? Like, kids don't play with toys anymore.
Well, I'm going to completely just demolish my own argument on that here to say that's irrelevant, because I don't think the most gifted thing is a kid's thing necessarily, because you still have the parents that get gifts. You still have, like, people that are above toy age that get presents, right? And I think, and this is, like, it came into my head pretty early on. I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It could be that. I think the most gifted thing this year isn't going to be a toy. I think it's going to be some variation, whatever format, of Top Gun 2, the movie. That's my guess. Top Gun Maverick.
What? You mean like on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever?
Yeah. I'm thinking that solely because, one, the shelves are empty in every store I've seen that has them. And two, just looking at how much money that movie made, how many people went and saw it. And I would say the majority of the people that went and saw it are then going to want a Blu-ray or 4K or DVD of it.
Want to hear something?
So I think that...
really crazy?
What? The fact that you don't have DVDs or Blu-ray or 4K?
The fact that I haven't seen Top Gun 2.
Fair. But even if you haven't seen it, just the numbers that it pulled in and made Tom Cruise an insane amount of money, and my dad, just off of like royalty percentages, but it had so many people watch it that I think that has to translate a lot into sales. And I don't think there was another movie that came out that had nearly as many people watch it in theaters. So I think it's going to be the most gifted movie of the year. And I think it might be the most gifted gift of the year too.
No, see, I don't see it, because a lot of people aren't like you. A lot of people don't really care for physical media anymore. People don't care about having like all the disc and DVDs like in their living room. Like people don't care for it, and it's going to be on Paramount Plus just before Christmas. I think people will be getting Paramount Plus subscriptions rather than buy the DVD. I think that's just the way the world's going. But
there's also a very large older demographic. Like older, I would say we're close to the threshold of people that switch from physical to digital. Maybe like, I don't know, 10 years above us have as well. But I think there's a really big demographic of older people that still are used to physical discs and stuff. And that's a lot of people. And then there's still some our age that have physical. Like I know for me, 2 people I know asked for it for Christmas. So I think there's still enough people, because I think in terms of, like we were saying with toys, there isn't one big thing that we can think of. That might be because we're old, might not be, who knows. I don't think there's just one toy or something, so that's going to spread out. So like person A will want this, person B will want something else.
Yeah, you're saying that Top Gun physical media is going to be the most common thing because everything else is so spread out. You're saying it's going to be the most common. I'm totally with you with what you're saying. I'm trying to picture in my head if anything else.
Yeah, like in terms of movies, I think it's number one for sure. But I don't know what else has that kind of thing, because I know music definitely isn't. Like, I think for sure no one really goes for music anymore.
The reason why Top Gun was so successful is because it was right, like it was the first breakthrough since pandemic where it was a good movie and somebody just wanted to go to the theater and have a good time and watch a good movie.
Yeah, and they really geared it for theaters too, like with the IMAX and everything else. And they really pushed for like getting the IMAX full experience of the movie, which I didn't get to do. By the time I went and saw it, it wasn't an IMAX anymore. It was just a regular screen, which kind of sucked, but it was still really good. But yeah, like the other thing I was thinking was games, but games, there hasn't been like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 maybe.
Well, I think like God of War is pretty big, but you know,
yeah, but that's split in half, right? Because it's only PlayStation, whereas Modern Warfare 2 is Xbox, PlayStation, PC, maybe Nintendo. I'm not sure. But I still don't think that would have as many physical copies, and I feel like most of the people that play that would already have it. Like they wouldn't have waited till Christmas.
Do you think people are like really splurging this year, like in holiday shopping in general? Like it's the first
it's hard
Christmas in what, 3 years? Really, like Christmas last year, things were still kind of, you know what I mean, for the people that travel for Christmas and families that are kind of apart.
Yeah, it was so dicey.
Still dicey. Like this is really the first year where everybody's kind of totally over the whole pandemic, right? Like they're sweeping it under the rug, and it's just going to be treated like another common virus or whatever, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how the world's treating it now. Sweep it under the rug and let's move on. Like, do you think people are really splurging this year?
It's hard to tell just because of like online shopping and Amazon and stuff like that being so popular. So if you go into a store, you can't really judge as much. But when was it? I think 2 or 3 days ago, I went into Walmart and it wasn't that busy. Like it was busier than normal, but it wasn't what I remember when I was a kid, where it'd just be like you could barely move, people are plowing you over and stuff like that. But that could just be everyone's buying everything off Amazon, because I'd say probably 75% of the stuff that like I got other people for Christmas, I just ordered online. But I think people probably are, because another thing is it might be the first time you see certain family members, so you have to buy them stuff. So like say 5 years ago, if you had a big family Christmas, you'd see like your aunt and uncle, but during COVID you wouldn't see them, so you probably wouldn't buy them anything. And then now if you're seeing them again, maybe you buy something again. So it might be more people buying more because of that too. In terms of myself, I think it's been pretty much the same every year. Never really changed too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people, like with the way the world's kind of going and everything, I feel like people might be railing it back a little bit, which, you know, doesn't really help things, but that's, you know, people's self-preservation and stuff like that. If they're not doing that, I feel like the most gifted thing would be trips. I think people are going to be spending more money on trips after being kind of forcefully confined for the past like couple of years, really. I think trips are going to be the most common gift, whether it's trips to them, gifts to themselves, like partners revealing gifts like, oh, hey, honey, guess what? I know we're hurting in the fridge, but I got us 2 tickets to Greece.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I could see that. If you're including people doing it for themselves as like a gift, or like their other half as a gift kind of to themselves, then yeah, I could see that. Or just like, yeah, not necessarily a trip to a different country or something, but just like a ticket to go do something type thing. I could see that.
Yeah, that's gonna be my vote. I think it's gonna be like a trip or an event. Like, we're gonna splurge on ourselves with not with an item, but with a memory, a potential memory maker,
an experience or
experience.
Something.
That's it. Yeah.
And I've thought of that too, for like getting for people and stuff.
Like, would you send your parents on a cruise? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, go on a boat. Leave me alone.
Yeah, just go on a boat. Take your time, all inclusive. Don't talk to me. Just give me 9 days, please.
Yeah, I could see that. But what's really important here is that the listeners at home, wherever they are, let us know in the comments what they think is the what they're guessing is going to be the most gifted thing this year, or if we said anything that you end up getting gifted if you're watching this after Christmas. Maybe you could watch it twice, once before or once after.
And if you're like
maybe
me,
when all your family's around, you could play it for all of them individually on separate devices so that all the views count.
That's right. And if you're like me and haven't done all your Christmas shopping, use it for ideas. If you don't know what to get somebody, get them Top Gun Maverick, or get them a 9-day cruise to Belize or something. I don't know.
But yeah, we don't endorse waiting this late.
Well, he doesn't.
Well, okay, yeah. Maybe if you want the last minute deals or something, you could do that.
What else we got here? So the past couple weeks, there's been a few trailers that have been coming out. Now, there's some that are more hype worthy than others, in my opinion. Like me being like a big Indiana Jones guy, the Indy 5 trailer dropped, and there's been multiple like screenshots that have been dropping. Kind of pumped because I didn't mind Crystal Skull. I didn't mind it because growing up with like Transformers, live action Transformers movies, you have Shia LaBeouf, who's kind of like a staple actor at the time before he went totally crazy. And so him being Indy's son in 4, I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, they're in the jungle fighting with monkeys. Okay. Didn't really bother me too much. Like growing up with like CGI, you know, like Star Wars is full of it. Everything's full of CGI. Never really bothered me because I didn't grow up with the original Indiana movies. However,
man, did it get shellacked by everybody.
Oh yeah,
people did not.
Yeah, the boomer generation definitely did not like Indy 4. Like Crystal Skull it might as well be the Last Jedi of the Indiana Jones franchise. Because holy. But this new one coming out, so we're going back to it. We're fighting the Germans. Like there's gonna be like flashbacks. There's like de-aging technology going in there. Was it Harrison Ford or Bruce Willis that like sold their face to like the digital world? I think it was Bruce Willis. Maybe he was like, yeah, like go ahead, you can use my face after I'm long gone or whatever.
I don't think it was Harrison. So yeah, it was probably him.
So anyway, the trailer looks pretty good. Like I think Mads Mikkelsen is in it as well. I think he's gonna be like the main baddie, and I think it looks pretty sick.
It could be alright.
I don't know what you think. Have you seen it at all?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I've seen a lot of the like just the stills and screenshots or whatever, and I could see it being good. I just hope he's not too old to the point where like they have to obviously kind of tone it down just to account for his age and like what he's able to do.
Well, even in Crystal Skull, like they did that, right? Like when he's swinging on the whip, and he doesn't quite make the first vehicle. And, you know what I mean? Like they were showing. I really hope that there's like just slight little subtle digs at his age there, because
if they old. Play off it, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Like
I just meant like if they have it so instead of going through like some cave with a lot of obstacles or something, he just has to like walk down a hallway.
Like like I hope they play off his age, like because the man is old. The man's like he's got to be almost 80, right? Like it's crazy.
Mid-70s at least.
Like I want to see him winded. It's like because he's like just running, bullets are landing.
Like, I need a second.
Just give me a second. It's not the years, it's the mileage. You know what I mean? Like, holy, the years are catching up.
Yeah, he looks.
Man looks frail, but anyway, I'm really pumped, looking forward to that. Like honestly, there can be no bad Indiana Jones. Like, you know, knock on wood, they could be terrible, but like new Indy is just more indie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no like expanded universe. Like, those movies are all that you get, in my opinion. Like, there's no Indiana Jones like comic book, TV show, or whatever have you, right? Like, those 4 movies, like, that's the lore, and they're building everything off of that. Now, but the looks of things, it looks like they're totally just like throwing the Shia LaBeouf kid thing to the sidelines, which I'm totally fine with, you know. But maybe like a comment saying like,
adoption,
oh yeah, like my kid's still working on friggin' motorcycles instead of doing anything with his life. So, not there's anything wrong with that, you know.
Yeah. Now, do you think they're gonna introduce a character to take over the role and then be able to carry on with it after? Like, bring in a protege or something, and then they make the series about that person?
I don't know.
I don't know how much of the story they've said. Revealed.
It's called The Dial of Destiny, and I do believe it takes place in the 60s, I think. And I do think that some of the movie's going to be like in flashbacks with like Indy fighting the Germans and whatnot. So I at the very end, they could be leading to like pass the torch, as it were, like pass the baton. But I'm totally cool if they don't.
I would kind of prefer if they didn't, because I couldn't imagine anyone else.
Yeah, like I don't know if they were trying to do that with Shia LaBeouf after his wedding, because he eventually gets married to Marion.
Yeah.
At the end of the last movie, and they have a wedding. But oh, in the trailer, Salah, the guy from Africa, he's in it, but he looks old too. Holy, he looks really old, but he's like Indy. You know what I mean? That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Salah is his name. Yeah.
And it's been such a long time since the last movie too. Like, I don't know if it was the last one was before Disney got Lucasfilm, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because George was part of it.
So I don't know if he was planning on doing anything else with it, and it just got shelved when he sold, or if I kind of thought Crystal Skull was maybe meant to be the last one. Like, it wasn't one where I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the next one. I was like, okay, yep.
Yeah, I honestly thought that'd be it too. I don't think George had anything planned, but obviously Disney bought it, and they're like, okay, how do we get the most bang money for our buck here, right? And
for better or worse, yeah.
I think Harrison Ford enjoys playing Indy more than he likes playing Han Solo.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore after that horrible death.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he came and played him back. He played him anyway.
Yeah. I remember reading something about, like, him talking about the first time he was back in the Falcon for Star Wars, and that was a big thing for him. So I would imagine it'll be something similar for Indy. But I guess Indy doesn't have the same, like, cast to it as Star Wars. Like, Star Wars, when he came back, it was him, it was Mark, it was Carrie, it was all of them, whereas Indy is kind of just his thing for the most part. And Sean Connery is gone now too, so
yeah, I think for him it's more just like putting on the costume and stepping into the role of Indy. Like, you know what I mean?
Putting on that hat,
having the whip, having the revolver, you know, like, it's just that vibe that every kid growing up wants to have, you know, like, everybody wants to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I remember you being really into Indy when you were a kid.
Oh yeah, he was the coolest. He was the coolest. I like Indy more than Han Solo myself.
Yeah.
I don't think Han has anything really special going on other than he has a pretty cool sidekick that probably does stuff with. I don't know.
He's got a ship and a talking dog.
Perfect. He's a smuggler. Like, that's just his thing.
He's basically Peter Quill.
Yeah, really. So, but yeah, so they're really looking forward to Indy 5, Trial of Destiny, I think. Dial of Destiny. Yeah. Indy 5 is what we'll keep it. And what else do we got? We got Transformers. Transformers is another.
If ever there was something that I did not want to see, it's the new Transformers movie. After that trailer, good God.
They should have stopped at 3. Transformers 1 was okay. Like, it was like pretty cool. Live action.
It was groundbreaking for the time. Like, stuff looking that good.
That was like 2008, I think. I don't really remember, but
somewhere around there. Yeah.
Like pretty friggin' cool. Like especially like you know in each movie when the robot first transforms, it's kind of like slow motion, but as they progress through the movie, it like speeds up or whatever. Like I love when you get to like the speed up parts where they're just like transforming into the cars, backing up, transforming again, fire off a few shots. You know what I mean? Like it just
and the like half transformed forms that they do every once in a while where they're still driving as a car and they just like pop their arm out and start blasting.
Like that's like my guilty pleasure CGI fest franchise, like Michael Bay. Like you know, just
the clunking and everything of them transforming, just so good. And then the voice acting is great.
Like 1, 2, and 3, fantastic. And like overall, like wrapping story, end of 3, Megatron is dead. He is the bad guy.
So good.
like the bad guy died. And then what was it, 4, like with Mark Wahlberg, they somehow reincarnate Megatron or something, or I don't even really remember. I've only seen
I think the worst part is just the fact that, especially in the Mark Wahlberg ones, it's like everybody has short-term memory loss and they want to kill the Autobots for no reason.
Yeah, Autobots bad.
Yeah, like it makes no sense in 4 when they're hunting them, and then I'm pretty sure they do it again. Like, it's just so stupid. It makes no sense after what happened in the first 3 why they would go after the Autobots. Like 3 kind of made sense because they're like, okay, the Decepticons are probably coming here because you're here. Maybe if we get rid of the tell them to leave, not murder them, then the Decepticons will leave too. And then they realized that's not the case, and the Autobots came back, and everyone was like, okay, yeah, you can stay.
It was perfect. 3 was perfect in every way. I remember watching that in the theater, and it was amazing.
I remember watching, and it got to the point where you think the Autobots were blown up, and like they're just looking at the city and they're like, okay, how do we get in there by ourselves without the Autobots?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, okay, it's been like 2 hours. Did they split this movie? Like, is there a part 1, part 2? And then Optimus comes up behind and it's like, oh god, there's another hour of this. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, like comes up behind and then he reloads and the big old shell almost crushes the boss, and it's like, we'll kill them all or whatever. Just sick.
Yeah,
just
like
so cool.
That's a very long movie, but I'm fine with it because like there was enough story left. I was like, they could do a whole nother movie if they wanted to.
So then you have like 4 where like I think that's just like a filler at this point because I don't even remember. Like they obviously beat the bad new reincarnated Megatron, and like that's it. I think there's only like 3 Transformers in the whole movie. And then you have
that's the one where they kill Ratchet right at the start.
Yeah.
And they're just hunting them for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And they have to introduce Mark as a horrible character.
And then you have Bumblebee, which is like, it goes back. It's like a soft reboot, but it's still part of the franchise. And the opening of Bumblebee is where you see the best scenes ever in the newer Transformers movies.
Cybertron. Yeah.
It's like a
5-minute
scene of the war on Cybertron, like the final minutes of the battle.
Which, if they made a movie just on that, would be great. But they just have to have humans in it for some reason.
Oh yeah, it's like the Godzilla
in the cartoon. I'm pretty sure they had a lot where there wasn't humans in it.
Yeah. But anyway, see at Bumblebee, where like his like backstory is kind of like shaky now. We're like, okay, well, was he in World War II or was he not?
Yeah.
And then okay, so then you have the last night where you bring in Wahlberg again, and like they're saying like Earth and Unicron or whatever, Unicron and Cybertron are like old planets, and they used to like do stuff.
They're like enemies and stuff, and
then
Unicron is Earth is like the big reveal.
Anyway, they win again. Everything blows up. Optimus is sending another message off to space, which he really needs to stop doing that because apparently that just brings
it never ends well. Yeah.
More BS. So
and
anyway,
they blow up Cybertron again.
They blow up what's left of Cybertron. I don't know how many more Cybertron reincarnations there's going to be, but now, so you get the new trailer. I didn't recognize anybody in it. And you got some Transformers that now turn into animals, like a tiger or an ape. Because like they already had dinosaurs, which were, kind of cool, but like...
And they barely use them. They were there and then they were just gone.
But like, why would a Transformer be a dinosaur? Like, I understand, like, back in the day, like, Blackbird was a Transformer because, like, that was the technology at the time and he blended in. Like, the Transformers are trying to turn into human technology to blend in.
Yeah.
Like, it just... Because they can rescan, right? And then transform into a new object.
Yeah, like, I think they kind of tried to say that I forget what the Dinobots. I think they tried to say that they were, like, really old. So at the time when they came, they were still dinosaurs, and they blended that way. And then they just I can't remember exactly what they did, if they were, like, just woken up or something. In 4?
Yeah, that'd be 4, yeah.
Yeah. But I was okay with it because they look cool, like a giant T-Rex Transformer, whatever. But then they just didn't use them. They didn't do anything with them, really.
There's, like, one scene of, like, Optimus riding the T-Rex, just to, like, make one slice, and that was it.
Yeah, and then they just shelved them. And now they want King Kong as a Transformer, basically.
But it's like, who are they fighting now? Like...
Well, the trailer, they start fighting each other, and then it's just, hey, yeah, you don't have to fight me. And Optimus is like, oh, okay, cool.
Perfect. The end.
So what now?
Finn.
Yeah. It's not really clear what's happening, but it's a reboot, right? So it's not, it's following up from Bumblebee. But then all the movies before that aren't canon, I think. I don't know. It's so confusing now because they keep changing it.
But Michael Bay is not involved with this one, like, at all. I don't think.
So there'll be, like, 3 explosions through the whole movie.
Which is why you go to a Transformers movie in the first place, because nobody really cares about the story.
Yeah, like, they just want to see giant robots, stuff exploding, transforming. The audio. That was pretty much it. Although 3 did have a really good story. I like the story of 3. But it always had the same problem of, like, even from the second movie onwards, there was always a different reason for them to come to Earth that were never mentioned in any of the other movies.
Well, it's so because, like, we're learning with the Transformers, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're learning these things with the Autobots.
Yeah, but the third one kind of retconned it a little bit because it makes it sound like they were supposed to go to Earth to meet Sentinel, but in the first one they say they went there because of the cube, which I now can't remember the name of. It's not the Tesseract. Is it just the cube?
Yeah, I don't remember. Allspark.
The Allspark.
Allspark, yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, the Allspark, like, is lost, and it's, like, floating through space, randomly falls on Earth, and that's the only reason why Megatron is there. But, yeah, that doesn't really make sense, because Megatron is also supposed to meet up with Sentinel, because Sentinel was really the traitorous bugger, right? Yeah. Like, he was like, well, we're not going to win the war, but we can save our planet, so I'm going to join the Decepticons. Which I totally get.
But also the Fallen had been there in the time of, like, the dinosaurs because of the Matrix.
Yeah, because he wanted to eat the sun and make more energon.
Yeah, and the Primes were there with the Matrix of Leadership, which they hid in Egypt. And it's also a planet transformer that they didn't realize somehow.
Oh, you mean Unicron?
Yeah, like when you layer it all together, it's ridiculous. Unless you say Unicron is the reason that the Allspark went there and stuff. I guess you could kind of work that out, but they just gave up on that storyline anyways.
Well, like, what do you mean gave up on it? Like, it was destroyed?
No, I mean, like, in Bumblebee and this new one that's coming out, well, they're kind of retconning that story.
Bumblebee didn't know the Allspark was there the whole time. He had no idea.
Yeah, but also in Bumblebee they make it seem like he was on Earth for a long time, whereas in the first Transformers he just landed there.
Oh, true, yeah.
So it must be a different storyline altogether, I guess. Like the Bumblebee and newer is a different storyline.
Wait, no, Bumblebee didn't land there in the first Transformers. He was already there and he was driving around as the Camaro and he goes into the used parking lot. Like, he was already, like, hanging out on Earth. You don't see him land. You see Optimus land. You see the rest of the guys land. You don't see Bumblebee. What hundo?
It's so freaking confusing at this point. They were in World War One, apparently.
We should just be a Transformers podcast. I'm telling you, I could dive into the lore, man.
Yeah. We'd probably lose everybody that was listening to confusion, though, because it goes over itself so many times.
Yeah, true. I'm just going to say
Starscream in terms of
is
the new
best
one.
Transformer ever.
You say worst or best?
I said best, but I do mean the worst. He's in every movie, but he's so terrible.
Yeah. They don't even mention in those that, like, in the cartoons and kind of his origin stuff, that he was an Autobot and he switched sides.
That sounds
he thought they were going to lose.
And he somehow became Megatron's number one.
Yeah. The was it War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games on the 360 were so good, and they had like all this storyline and stuff, and they were all on Cybertron with no humans. They were really good, and they had a lot of cool storyline stuff that kind of tied into the movies, but was also just what the TV show and everything else had. Like, they just need to go backwards. They need to go back to Cybertron, forget about Earth, forget about all the crap that they've kind of set up, and just do all prequel stuff, and I'd be happy. I also want to see Metroplex, which is a city as a Transformer.
I've never heard of that. Where is that?
He was in the games.
Oh.
He was an Autobot. Like, the main Autobot city was an Autobot, basically.
Sweet.
So whenever they had to move the city, he just transformed and walked.
Yeah, because they had to stay mobile or else it was a dumpster.
Yeah, and he was massive. And then there's Triptychon, who was like the big Decepticon one, and he was basically like a space station. And he turned into a giant gun. He was a Death Star.
Perfect, man. Well, was there anything else you wanted to add to our Christmas special topic?
Well, I guess we're pretty much at wrap point, so I guess we should say thanks to anyone if they managed to stick around for the past year. It's been almost a year now. Started on the 4th of January. So thanks to anyone that stuck around. We have 20 subs, so that's pretty cool. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thanks, Mom, Dad, dog.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, because there probably won't be an episode before the New Year, so.
My Smurf accounts.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I hope everybody enjoyed the holiday special that may or may not have a fireplace. I may have to edit that segment out, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see when we get there. Well, thank you all very much, like you said, for if you made it to the end of the episode, and hopefully we'll be getting more episodes out in the new year once schedules get a little more solidified and a lot more post-production goes into these talks. If you like what you heard and you want to bring up topics for future discussions, don't be afraid to drop them down in the comments section. I'm Lick My Sock 117. I was joined again and always by TMT Coco. Thank you very much, and we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks, guys.
Like and subscribe.